Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Wrestling News Log. I am James Phoenix. Today's log, TV deals and odd reveals. With me is Jeff.
What's up?
All right. I have a new shirt.
I have another title for you because I can almost guarantee you don't have this new story.
Okay.
And I'll save it for the end. Wrestling and terrorism.
No, I do have that.
You do?
Yep.
Wow. Didn't think you'd have that one because that was a relatively new, news story.
Yeah, I got it.
Fair enough.
There's actually two different parts to that.
Oh, okay.
We will cover it.
Bring up the wheel.
That's what we're going to do. Wheeling it up. I didn't actually set the wheel, so I should probably do that.
Oops. Yeah.
Live.
Yeah, happens.
Don't forget to set the auto delete.
Yes, boss. And then, how many do we have this week? We have.
That's what I was about to ask.
We have 10. Test options. Remove choice after landed on. Color scheme colorful. Apply wheel changes. There we go. We have wheel.
All right.
All right.
Spin it.
It's number 4. This is just a fun little story. By any chance, do you remember a wrestler by the name of Kurrigan?
No.
He was a member of a group called the Oddities.
I remember the oddities.
He was Kurrigan,
Okay.
and also known as Robert Mallier.
Oh, yeah, the actor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know him.
Was he acting in other things? I didn't know that.
He was in the thing that we reviewed way back when on the X Pound.
Which thing?
The thing with Nash and Jimmy Hart. The Monster Brawl.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
I think he played Frankenstein.
Oh, all right. That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, fun fact, I know you haven't seen it, but for those who have seen it, you might have noticed that he's also in Deadpool 2.
Oh, is he?
He is. He plays Sluggo, a mutant mercenary that Deadpool meets during the prison portion of the movie.
Okay.
So, congrats to him.
Nice.
He said, this was a great opportunity. It was crazy for me. I knew Deadpool. The first one was a huge film, a huge hit, and the second one was the most anticipated film of the year. Infinity War says what?
Yeah, really?
Mallier continued, plus it's a Marvel film as well. It was like a glorified Halloween party. For me, the thrill is working with Ryan Reynolds, watching him work, being in character, pitching out lines in each take. It's a huge honor.
Mm-hmm.
You can see a picture of him in his costume as the character over on his Twitter at Robert_Mallier.
Harry Potter says what?
Fantastic
Beasts. It comes out at the end of the year, doesn't it?
It does?
I thought it came out this year because they released a trailer for it already.
It did?
Yeah, Crimes of Grindelwald.
Well, yes, I know what it's called.
You're telling me you didn't see the trailer? They released a trailer like a month ago.
I think I might have missed that.
Yeah, Johnny Depp looks hella fucking different.
And November 16th, okay. Fair enough.
It looks pretty good, actually.
All right. Let's go back over here. Number 2. This is a nice one. Oh, there we go. So, just some positive news all around. Some of you may remember former WWE diva Stacy Keibler.
She's got legs.
She does. And we are reporting this from US Weekly this week, or Us Weekly rather, that the 38-year-old Stacy Keibler, I don't know why we needed to put her age in there, but okay. But it's worth noting that Stacy Keibler is currently expecting her second child with her husband Jared Porb. So congratulations to them.
To her. Yeah.
So good for them. All right. All right, the wheel. Going to number 8. Okay, let's dig into one of our 3 top stories this week.
Okay.
So, the Huffington Post put out a story this week.
Okay.
And story is focused on a Twitter user known as @AmyMech.
Okay.
Based on your reaction, I'm assuming this is not the one you had.
No.
What was the one you had?
Oh, is this the terrorism story?
Yeah.
No, mine involves actual terrorism.
Are you referring to the threat regarding the Greatest Royal Rumble?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to get to that. I tied it into this because it's all under the same umbrella.
Okay, because I didn't hear about this Amy Mack person. I just heard about the fallout, and I was just like, wait, what?
All right, so yeah. So, @AmyMech has more than 200,000 followers on Twitter, including Sean Hannity, Roseanne Barr, and the personal account of Sarah Huckabee Sanders. And she's earned endorsements from Donald Trump and Michael Flynn. And she has tirelessly spewed far-right propaganda, and above all, Islamophobia.
Did you just say llamaphobia?
No, Islamophobia.
Oh, okay. I was about to say. Okay, fair enough.
What's llamophobia?
Oh no, I thought it was a phobia of llamas. I was going to be like, wait, what?
No, Islamophobia.
Fair enough.
Around 25 tweets a day, sometimes more. The majority of them designed to stoke hatred of Muslims.
Okay.
After their investigation, they dug up some info on the user, who is 45-year-old Amy Jane Mecca Berg from Fishkill, New York.
Okay.
Who is married to now former WWE executive Salvatore Salsilno.
Okay, then.
Who worked for the company as senior vice president responsible for global content distribution and business development.
Are you serious?
Amid reports WWE knew about the connection between their employee and Meckelberg, the company responded with, "This is the first time we are hearing about Amy Meckelberg." The Post adds, the company had reason to worry about Meckelberg's Islamophobia. In the early part of 2018, the WWE and Saudi Arabia finalized a controversial 10-year deal to bring pro wrestling there. Silva was negotiating TV deals in the United Arab Emirates, according to the WWE. Back in Fishkill, his wife was casting Muslims as subhuman filth.
Okay, then.
Meckelberg continued to tweet hate despite knowing that her husband's job was in jeopardy, especially since he was involved in the Saudi Arabia negotiations. And when approached a second time earlier this year, WWE responded with, "Now that it has come to our attention, Sal Silno is no longer an employee."
Damn. That sucks for him, dude.
Yep.
But then again, obviously, he didn't really much care about his job and is probably an Islamophobe himself if he didn't, seek a divorce or try to tell her to stop or anything. So maybe it's for the better, because maybe he's a closet Islamophobe. And no reaction from Jim. Fair.
Yeah. I don't know.
You would think if the guy cared about his job at all, he would have been like, honey, you got to stop. If you don't, I have no choice but to seek a divorce because I don't want to lose my job.
Yeah, well, it depends on what's more important to him, unless he agrees with her views and just, wasn't vocal about it.
In which case, yeah, his ass should have been fired.
Yeah.
So who replaced him?
I don't know. I don't know.
All right, then.
But yeah, so that happened.
Actually, if I was actually titling this this show, since it's supposed to be a somewhat parody title, I would have titled it Muhammad Hassan Seeks Revenge.
Now,
Given the story that I have, that supposedly you have as well, it kind of makes sense in a parody kind of way. Anyway, continue. Continue.
Yep.
You're not even paying attention to the show.
So continuing on this train.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go over here and get the next link. Grab this guy.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm pasting the link. Hang on one sec. All right, so now having that come out about the issue was one thing, but then the Independent posted another.
Okay.
And this one covers a recently issued warning from a Yemen-based branch of Al-Qaeda to a Saudi crown prince. It calls out the greatest Royal Rumble and the Kingdom's partnership with WWE, specifically among the sinful projects and absurdities, which have opened the door wide for corruption and moral degradation.
Yeah.
Quote, foreign disbelieving wrestlers exposed their privates, and on most of them was the sign of the cross in front of a mixed gathering of young Muslim men and women. Saudi authorities, of course, did apologize for the video that played that showed women, but there had been no mention of coverage about WWE talent with Christian iconography tattooed on their bodies or worn as jewelry prior to the Independent story.
Yeah, and as someone pointed out, the only cross that they could think of that might have been on gear isn't even Christian.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Celtic cross. Because Sheamus might have crosses on his gear, but it'd be the Celtic cross. It wouldn't be a Christian cross.
Actually, no, because he and Cesaro run an Ouroboros logo on their gear.
He doesn't have the Celtic cross on like his knee pads and shit anymore.
Oh, I mean, he might, but I think they mostly have the Ouroboros, that red and white Ouroboros logo.
Oh, because the only other thing I could think of is in the ad, if like Sasha Banks was in there or something, she's got like crosses all over her outfit, depending on what she's wearing. Because like her glasses have crosses on them.
Dude.
Hmm?
Triple H's logo is a fucking cross.
Oh, that's true. But that's not a Christian cross. It's not even close. It's like almost like a square.
Yeah.
It's more like a swastika than it is a cross, to be honest.
No?
Well, it's more square. Crosses generally aren't square. They're more diamond shaped.
I don't know.
Like the only other superstar that could have potentially had a cross on his outfit, I can't remember if he was actually at the event, is Kalisto, because his tail is a cross. The tail on his mask,
Mm-hmm.
it's a cross. And I think, some of his
He wrestled Cedric for the cruiserweight title.
right. So he might have had crosses on his stuff.
Yeah.
And then of course there's Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, in the Rumble itself.
Right. Which he's known for using heavy crosses on his stuff. Like the center of his mask is a giant ass cross usually.
Yeah.
And then of course there's Bork Laser.
He wasn't there.
What do you mean he wasn't there? He was in the main event.
Oh, that's right. He wrestled Brock, yeah.
He wrestled Roman, yeah.
Roman, that's what I mean, yeah.
Because some Al Qaeda terrorist could have very easily mistaken the sword on Brock's chest for a cross.
Yeah. Yeah, every one of Ray's masks has a cross just right the fuck on his forehead. So yeah, concern there. What happens when you branch out globally is you got to be aware of it's a very delicate balancing act.
Right, but I would imagine that Saudi Arabia okayed all that stuff. So because something that big doesn't seem like something that would be an oversight on WWE's part. It really doesn't.
No, but realize this whole thing was set up by the Saudi prince.
Mm-hmm.
And he's known to be very opposite to a lot of traditional Saudi Arabian values.
Right.
So he approved it. That doesn't mean traditionalists in the country approve of it.
True, but I'm just saying WWE can't be blamed for it if it was approved by the prince. That's all.
Well, there's no blame to go around. I mean, if a terrorist group is pissed off, they're going to be pissed off no matter what you do. I know, and the article in question was basically targeting him for allowing WWE to become there and do that, not necessarily WWE for doing it.
Yeah. So the thing is, if WWE goes back in like November when they're scheduled to go back, is there going to be a terrorist strike? Are they going to strike at the Saudi prince for daring to, ignore them?
That is a question that's going to have to be considered.
And also with these threats, will WWE pull out for the safety of their people? Because do they want to risk being right in the middle of a terrorist surgical strike on the prince?
That is a good question.
And if I was WWE, I would be like, yeah, no, we're not doing it. We're pulling out. Thank you for your money. Goodbye.
Uh-huh.
Because unless Vince is really that much into money and really, this will be the test to see if Vince cares more about money or his people. Because if he cares more about money, he won't care and will send his people into the line of fire. If he actually cares about his people, he will pull the fuck out after this. Because in my opinion, it's too much of a risk. Because if you think about it, WWE going there, every single one of them is as much a target as the prince. Because Al Qaeda will take the opportunity to strike down every single last American infidel in the place.
Yes. But I also guarantee you, if Vince won't back down, and I don't think it has to do with money.
Okay.
Vince is a staunch Republican believer of, American superiority. And if Vince is not going to let something like this intimidate him, because if you let the terrorists scare you into that sort of a thing, you let the terrorists win. They want you to be afraid. They want you to do that sort of thing. I also remind you, especially of all people, Al Qaeda. No.
What?
Because look at your history. In the United States of America, we had a horrible event happen on September 11th of 2001.
Mm-hmm.
2 buildings were obviously blown up, and among other things, were blown up by airplanes that were hijacked by Al Qaeda terrorists.
Mm-hmm.
People were terrified. People didn't know, what was going on. There was concern about potential further attacks. Now that particular terrible event was on a Tuesday. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Within the entire, events, a lot of things were obviously canceled. The people were obviously being with their families and doing what they needed to do in a horrible time like that. And people were scared. They didn't know, wasn't going to be what's going to happen. Wasn't going to be okay, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you: do you happen to know? I'll give you 3 guesses, and the first 2 don't count. 2 days later, on Thursday, do you know what countrywide was the first major gathering of people after 9/11?
Yes, WWE.
It was SmackDown. Exactly.
But that was in America.
Where 2 buildings have been blown up and several thousand people were murdered.
Right, but Al-Qaeda didn't make a threat against the fucking president. And the president wasn't in attendance. The difference is they'll be going basically into the country where their leader is going to be the target, could potentially be the target of a terrorist strike. The leader will be there because he was there for the first one. He's going to be there for the second one because he's the one that put all this shit together. And if Al-Qaeda is seeing us as infidels and they're walking onto effectively Islamic ground, they will not hesitate to cleanse their territory. There's a difference between going to their territory and having a big meeting on ground zero on our own territory and basically daring them to come back to our territory and strike. We're now going to theirs.
Right, but here's the counterpoint. You're in Saudi Arabian territory.
Yeah.
Especially if Al-Qaeda is making threats like that. Do you really think the Crown Prince isn't going to have everything within a 10-mile radius locked down? Do you really think he isn't going to have guys wielding M15s at every door? Do you really think he's not going to arm the shit out of the place? It's a dictatorship country where they do that. You couldn't get away with that here. You wouldn't say put the army at the door unless the president or somebody was there. But he will not hesitate to lock that place down and triple security and shut down. He'll shut down half the country if he has to make the damn thing work. He has the power to do that.
Yeah, but it's still a risk, and your people could potentially get caught in this crossfire. And especially with the fact that with the last event, they gave the superstars the option to go, whether to go or not. Unless the superstars, are really that dumb, I don't see really any of them going. Like, what's Vince going to do if he doesn't have a show? If everyone's like, fuck you, I'm not going to go over there and potentially get shot in the crossfire of an Islamic civil war. Fuck you. That's stupid. I could totally see the superstars being like, no, you're putting us into unnecessary danger. No, Vince. So Vince can have all the grapefruits he wants. Vince can be the staunch Republican and stand up in the face of danger all he wants, but he cannot force his people to do that. And if every single one of them feels that their lives are in danger by going over there, they will not go over there.
Mm-hmm.
And Vince has to give them the option of whether they want to go or not, especially given the severity. He has to give them the option. Or shit's going to hit the fan.
Yeah,
I don't know what'll happen. I mean, if the superstars band together, they probably have more than enough money to sue the pants off him.
They could try.
Because I'm fairly certain the reason Vince gave them, offered them the option to stay home is probably because he had to give them that option.
I don't think he gave anyone an option. I think the only person who had an option was Sami Zayn.
No, the report is that he gave everybody an option, and he said, look, given where we're going, I can understand if you don't want to go. It is your choice. Which is why a lot of people called out Corey Graves on his bullshit, because, everyone was given the choice, and he chose to go anyway and then complained about it. It's like, you could have not gone, Corey. You were given the option. That's why people called him out on that. So as far as official sources are concerned, yes, Vince gave the superstars and people the option to not go, given the fact of where they were going.
I don't
Some
recall seeing
people
that
he didn't
report
give them the
anywhere.
option.
Fair
He was
enough.
just like, you're just not going to go, for obvious reasons. You know, Sammy and
Women.
You know, and obviously, you know, Big Show, because he was injured, so he couldn't go. Because he was having like surgery and shit. But everyone else, he gave the option. He said, given where we're going, I'm not going to force you to go. And I get the feeling, given it's Vince McMahon, he didn't do it because he wanted to or because he was being a nice guy. He did it because he had to. He had to give them that option.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I fully expect him to give them that option again for the second tour at the end of the year. And given this shit, and especially between now and then, if more stuff comes out about it, I fully expect almost every single superstar to say no.
Well, we'll find out. Because they have a full right to say no. But if they do, Vince has a full right to say, okay, and obviously they're not going to get paid for that event, and Vince has a choice to de-push the shit out of their career.
But is he going to de-push the entire roster?
Everybody won't refuse to go.
I don't know.
It's unlikely.
I'm pretty sure walking into the line of fire isn't in their contract.
No, I don't think it is. But at the same time, you know, depending on where on the, I mean, obviously, you know, somebody like Roman Reigns or Seth Rollins can be like, yeah, no, I'm not going. Somebody like, I don't know, say Ty Dillinger, on the other hand,
say no, I'm not going, because he has to be given the option, and Vince can't do anything about it because he has to give him the option. He has to honor that option.
He does. But if the choice, like I said, depending on what they're making, if even on the lower guys on the roster don't make nearly as much, yeah, there's these. But so if the choice is between put yourself in the line of fire or not have money to feed my family,
I'll take not enough money to feed my family, because at least I'll still be alive to get a job elsewhere to make money to feed my family. If I go in the line of fire and I get dead, then they'll never have money to feed themselves because I'll be dead and they won't have me. So, you know, I think I'd rather give Vince the middle finger and say no. I'm staying here. And if you're going to fire me, that's fine. I'll go work somewhere else where I won't be walking into a fucking firing squad.
True. But I mean, that's absolutely true. On the flip side, it is worth pointing out, though, that as has been demonstrated by the Ultimate Warrior, if you're loyal to Vince and something tragic happens to you, he will take care of your family for the rest of their lives.
Or he'll exploit the shit out of them for the rest of their lives.
Potato, potato.
Uh-huh. Yeah, if Ultimate Warrior taught us anything, it's that Vince will exploit the shit out of your death and your family's grieving under the auspices of taking care of them. Not that he doesn't give them money or anything, he probably does, but it's basically to pay them for the rights to your corpse is what he's doing.
Yeah. Anyway, why don't we move on here? I think we've dwelled on this story enough.
Yeah.
Wheel. Going to number 10. Follow-up from the last few weeks as we continue on this train.
Uh-huh.
So, scroll down here.
Scroll down there.
So, as noted, Us Magazine reported earlier this week that John Cena and Nikki Bella are already back together. Following the report, Nikki spoke to TMZ and confirmed that the two are indeed working on a reconciliation. According to Nikki, the two have seen each other a few times and are attempting to work things out as they go. Cena has also been reportedly spotted in San Diego recently, where the two own a home together. As previously reported, WWE.com actually covered the real-life story, as well as several other mainstream media outlets like E! News. A representative for Nikki issued the following statement, quote, Nikki Bella and John Cena are working on their relationship and taking it day by day. They appreciate all their fans and their continued support.
Reading between the lines, you want to see how this ends? Wait for the finale of Total Bell, season finale of Total Bellas.
Something like that.
You know they're going to drag it out just for the finale money. You know they didn't do that. Come on.
Mm-hmm. Wouldn't put it past him. All right, here we go.
John Cena sucks.
3. So, Jeff, are you all in?
I wish I had the money to go all in, but I'm going to be all Ranger, so no. Unfortunately, Hasbro's getting all my money, so.
Okay, you're going to buy a bunch of shit while you're there?
No, they own Power Rangers, ergo they're getting all my money. Because I guarantee you none of that's going to Saban.
The con is not officially run by the company.
Oh, I thought like the company sponsors it, so they get kicked back. But no, I'll probably buy stuff. Although most of that, because Hasbro hasn't made toys yet, so most of it will probably go to Bandai. But yeah,
yeah. But no, technically speaking, Morphicon, it's a fan event. It's run by Scott Zollner and his people, and it's an independent fan event that just the company's habit to support by helping to promote it and usually using it to make major announcements and usually bringing the cast of the current Ranger series in. So right. they certainly use the event quite a bit, and they do officially sanction it, but it is not officially run by them.
Mm-hmm. And running Power Force shit.
Yeah, sometimes.
So I'm assuming any and all Power Force shit run there is official Saban stuff.
Yeah, generally speaking.
Like the breakfast and shit.
Right.
Anyway.
So, might be a hell of a champion versus champion match at the All-In.
Okay.
At the Ring of Honor ROH United London Night 1 event on Saturday night, NWA World Champion Nick Aldis made an interesting announcement.
Mm-hmm.
He appeared at the show, which aired live on Honor Club and Fight TV, and stated that the only way he will defend the NWA World Championship against Cody Rhodes at the All-In event is if Cody wins the ROH World Championship. This led to NWA's Dave Lagana hyping up the potential champion versus champion bout at the September event. Cody is scheduled to challenge for the ROH World Championship against Dalton Castle at the ROH Best in the World pay-per-view on June 29th in Baltimore. And a tweet from @NWA adds, breaking from London at Ring of Honor, #Honor United, @Real Nick Aldis agrees to defend the @NWA World Heavyweight title at All-In 2018 under one condition. If @Cody Rhodes wins the @Ring of Honor World title. Both men will be #All-In. Title v. title, September 1st.
There.
All right.
Speaking of Ring of Honor, do you have the female superstars news?
Yes.
You have both of the female superstars news.
I have a female superstar news.
Because there's two, actually.
Okay.
One from Ring of Honor, one from, I think it's called Stardom.
Okay. I didn't hear about the Stardom one. Fair enough. We'll get there.
Yeah. I'll talk about that when you do the ROH one.
5.
All about female superstars.
Mm-hmm. So, this was hinted at last week, but now we have the full thing. That was not it. So,
mm-hmm.
My name is Enzo Amore,
Not
and
anymore.
I am a certified G and a bona fide stud, and you can't teach that.
His name's not Enzo anymore.
And the video says real one parenthesis Enzo Amore.
Well, so people know who he is, but he doesn't own the name Enzo Amore, so he can't actually legally use it.
No.
If he tries to do that, he won't have any money left.
Mm-hmm.
Because there will be a B next to his name.
Mm-hmm.
Placed there by one Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
Uh-huh. Yes, Enzo Amore, of course, was announced last week that he will be having a large fan event in New York City, and that at said fan event at approximately 9:15 p.m., he would be breaking his social media silence that has been in place ever since he suffered from accusations of a rape in Phoenix, Arizona, and was subsequently fired by WWE for this. We announced a couple weeks ago, of course, the investigation was concluded, and they determined there was not enough evidence to charge Enzo with any crimes, so he is free to go. Enzo Amore broke his social media silence by tweeting the link to his new rap music video for his song entitled Phoenix.
This is not that good.
It is available on YouTube. You can find it. And the video primarily is effectively a rap about what happened to Enzo, which he basically effectively sings about being, as he says, falsely accused of rape, according to him, and how, people shouldn't, judge him and blah, blah, blah.
Dude, let's be honest and call it what it is. It's an Enzo Amore shoot promo on current events of his life.
Yeah.
It's kind of shit. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And it's kind of petty.
A little bit.
Fucking Jersey piece of shit.
Yeah. It is petty. And effectively with him dropping on everything that happened to him, as well as things going forward, basically taking some shots at women who accused him, and about how everyone on the internet judged him, and he thinks it's wrong that people get judged for something someone said online instead of actually waiting for evidence.
And Enzo's an idiot because you don't get people to stop judging you by cutting a shoot promo calling them out on said judgment. Yeah. That just makes them judge you even more.
Yeah, the complete lyrics are out. They read as follows. From the ashes like a phoenix, middle finger to the sky, grilling my consensual penis. Lion ass hoe out in Phoenix. When I say this shit, I mean it. Fuck you, marks that hated. This is for all my fans that waited. Entertainment's hottest free agent, Gucci witch, you dirty bitch. If arrogance is bliss, is so innocence. Guilty till you prove it innocent. Type A ass backwards. Bullshit is this. I got a lot less to prove than you. The only thing I put in that pudding was proof. Yeah, the proof is in the pudding, bitch. My pudding ain't got no roofaline. Nah, I ain't Bill Cosby, bitch. Nah, I ain't Bill Cosby, bitch. TMZ owes me some restitution in the midst of disillusion. Choosing public prosecution over Constitution ain't the right solution. Gender persecution hurts the Me Too movement and our women's revolution. The fuck you doing?
I think the SJWs are hurting the Me Too movement and the women's revolution far more than this bitch is. Because, seriously, the two most notable women in power right now, at least that are in the news all over the fucking place, aren't doing women any favors. Because you got the lady in charge of fucking Cartoon Network just completely burying that network, and everyone is calling her on that shit. And then you have Kathleen Kennedy. So, right now, women in authority not doing women favors. Which is sad.
Fair enough. But yes, Enzo's video is out there. You can go check that out. We will see where that leads, if anywhere.
Enzo the Petty.
Yeah,
now they have a reason to judge you because you told them all to fuck off.
Number 9. So, we talked a little bit last week about WWE's new recent TV dealings.
Yes.
We're going to talk about that a little bit more later. But, speaking of WWE TV dealings, on Friday, WWE and Imogen Television announced a deal that has been reached that will bring Raw and SmackDown live to television in Mexico.
Rey Mysterio return confirmed?
I don't know. WWE and Imagine Television, the newest national broadcast television network in Mexico, announced a new agreement to broadcast WWE's flagship programs, Raw and SmackDown, on free-to-air television in Mexico. Beginning tomorrow, Image and Television will air a weekly 1-hour version of Raw at 3 p.m. on Saturdays and a weekly 1-hour version of SmackDown at 4 p.m. on Saturdays, both with Spanish commentary. We are thrilled to bring Raw and SmackDown back-to-back every Saturday to our viewers, said Adriana Ibanez, content officer for Image Television. WWE's content has proven to be well-received by the Mexican audience, and we are counting on fans to come enjoy these two fun-filled shows at Image and Television.
I find it hilarious that this television station company didn't insist on WWE allowing them to air the one show that would have garnered the most views in Mexico. You know, the show that has all the fucking Mexicans on it.
Yeah.
Because they're not on any other show. They never fucking show up on Raw anymore, so yeah.
No. But SmackDown has both Sin Cara and Andrade Cien Almas.
Yes, but 205 Live has an entire fucking lucha faction.
They do. Anyway, Imagine Television shares our vision and passion for engaging and entertaining our fans, said Michelle Wilson, WWE co-president. This partnership to televise localized WWE programming on free-to-air TV in Mexico allows us to expand our reach and deliver action-packed, family-friendly entertainment to WWE fans throughout the country.
Besides, you would think if WWE wants to improve ratings for 205 Live, you would think they'd want to air it in the one country where it would have, you know, the greatest potential. Because, you know, Mexico, birthplace of Lucha Libre, they will appreciate 205 Live.
Yeah.
It's kind of a no-brainer. You allow them to air 205 Live, you make more money, they make more money, your show looks good.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
True.
Besides, if they do that, then maybe we can get Sin Cara off of SmackDown.
Maybe.
But no, instead, it's like, no, you have to pay us directly for the network to watch that. And it's like, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Oh, I was hoping to save that one, but all right. Let's dig in. Since we were talking about TV deals, let's segue into the main TV deal news.
Okay.
All right. So, Wrestling Observer, grain of salt.
Right.
With a move to Fox, WWE has yet to comment on if SmackDown will continue to air live or be taped Tuesday. But the belief is that the show will air live on Friday, as most don't think Fox would have shelled out that kind of money for a taped show. Especially with Fox's emphasis being on live sports. If true, it'll change a lot of things logistically for WWE, as it'll involve a much higher workload for people in the television production. Will essentially be 2 different trips per week, but with the additional revenue, they could afford to just hire more people to make it work. The likely scenario with both being live is that they'll run on a Friday to Monday cycle, with Friday having SmackDown and a Raw house show, and Monday having Raw and a SmackDown house show. Over here. Let's see here. Regarding WrestleMania week, if and when SmackDown moves to Fridays, this would likely mean that the traditional post-WrestleMania Tuesday show in the same city would get moved to the Friday before, which would then put it head-to-head against major indie shows who end up running on Friday in the region. Saturday nights would remain as the TakeOver show, as well as an ROH show. So most, if not all indie shows would not want to run anything on that day. As a result, it's possible that the indie shows would then be held on Thursday. The Hall of Fame would likely be moved to either Thursday or Tuesday the week after, with Thursday making more sense. It's before securing the rights to SmackDown, Fox was also in the hunt to acquire the rights to Raw. And it's believed that the offer for it was in the range of $240 to $270 million. However, NBC Universal's USA Network will end up keeping that as they have the right to match any offer as stipulated in its contract with WWE. With Raw an extremely critical show on USA, they simply could not afford to lose it, but declined to match the SmackDown offer. Estimates figures that suggest if Raw left the USA Network, its average overall rating would fall by 21%, a gigantic number for one show, which would explain why the company was ready to match any offer for Raw, especially to rival Fox. Losing SmackDown will still have an impact, but not nearly as much as if they lost Raw. One of the reasons WWE likely decided to go with Fox over a streaming service like Amazon or Facebook, one of which offered even more than the amount that Fox paid, is because of traditional television on a station like Fox is better for both creating new fans and retaining old fans. Roughly half of the current SmackDown audience is over 53 years of age, and it is believed it would be this demographic that would lose touch with the show if it was taken off traditional TV. It is also good news for Fox because of Friday night time slots are difficult, and this older demographic is less likely to go out on a Friday, instead staying home and watching TV.
Where did they get that demographic from?
Oh.
It doesn't sound right to me, but whatever.
Why doesn't it sound right to you?
Because I think the demographic for wrestling in general, but certainly SmackDown, is more people my age. You know, the people who grew up with SmackDown, who were there and young when SmackDown first came about.
Yeah, but that group are the people who have been wrestling fans since the heyday.
Yeah, which is why I would think the older crowd would be more into Raw than SmackDown.
I think the number probably applies to the WWE audience in general. They're just having to peg it to SmackDown. Another reason, as noted before, is that Fox has promised they'll heavily promote WWE programming in their other sports broadcasts, including NFL, college football, and MLB games. Specifically, they're going to advertise SmackDown on the Thursday Night Football, and their plan is to push NFL on Thursday, WWE on Friday, and college football on Saturday as 3 consecutive nights of sports entertainment programming.
Yep. The other reason they want to go with Fox, or they've gone with Fox, is it wouldn't surprise me if Vince McMahon, being Vince McMahon, didn't sneak in an XFL clause somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, like maybe having Fox like promote the XFL or something on an actual sports network or something, or maybe, you know, having an option to negotiate maybe for airtime for the XFL or something later.
With Fox available in more homes than the USA Network, this will likely lead to SmackDown being watched by more people weekly than Raw, though the numbers could be close as Friday nights are a tough night to draw viewers. In any case, when the next superstar shakeup occurs, the expectation is that there will be significant moves to get some big names onto the SmackDown brand. There have also been some reports that WWE could actually end the brand split if both NBC Universal and Fox demand access to all the talent each week. In a follow-up to a previous note, which they first reported about WWE investing more in TV and having the big matches there, expect this to continue beyond 2019 as TV will be the leading revenue stream, reaching the most viewers, whereas the network will become more of a supplementary source of programming and income.
So Vince is basically outright saying he lied to his customers and fans.
Yeah.
Because did he not say when they launched the network that his long-term plan for the network was for that to be the primary source of WWE and the primary source of income, not TV, which is why he like fucked over a lot of the TV deals and shit?
Yeah, but then, you know, the network, network membership is good. Well, it's good. I mean, it crested off after a couple million. So, and given the amount of money, I don't think Vince expected this amount of money to be offered for TV deals, given the way things were going. He just never expected these amounts of money to be on the table.
Right. I would also say I don't know if I agree with that article writer's assessment about SmackDown viewership going up on Fox on Friday, because Friday has historically been the death slot for any and all shows. It's why when SmackDown went from Thursday night on UPN to Friday night on like fucking Sci-Fi, people were like, "Oh no," because Friday's the death slot. That's that slot. Given the time that SmackDown like airs or tapes, at the time it tapes, now it's live. But at the time they air, that's literally the death slot for anything that's not, or at the time that wasn't, on like King and ABC and stuff, because that's the fucking prime time. That's the
King
TV, like Channel 5 over here, NBC.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, over here it's just NBC.
Yeah, it's King 5. It's NBC. Now it's NBC Universal, but, and stuff like that, because that's when they're like TGI Friday and shit was on. That's when the big shows were on. You're going up against that. It's a death sentence to go Friday. And SmackDown was proof of that, because while it was a very good show and it was, it was kind of the heyday of SmackDown, the instant it went on to Sci-Fi on Fridays, the show fucking tanked. And it's not because the show sucked. It's because it was on, well, number one, is now on cable instead of not cable, which, going from free TV to cable, you're going to lose people. But that, coupled with that, it's on Friday night in the death time slot. It's like, okay, are we going to watch WWE, or am I going to go watch fucking Step by Step or something like that? It's like, well, I'm going to go watch the sitcoms because better programming. Nowadays, you might be able to get away with it because that era is kind of past, but I still think Friday's kind of the death slot. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. Because it's the combination of the day and the time is what makes it the death sentence. I don't know. What do you think, Jim?
Yeah, it is definitely a hard slot. I mean, a lot of shows get sent there when they're on their last legs, so I can completely understand that. That's where Once Upon a Time just ended its final season. But at the same time, SmackDown did decently enough on Fridays that it worked, even if it was in DVR views.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that, especially if it's on a major network like Fox and they're heavily pushing it, I think people will go out of their way to watch it in some manner.
Maybe. Oh God, Vince, no, don't do it, Vince.
What?
Oh, I just realized what he could possibly do, and Vince would do it as a punt, and I would face palm and I'd be like, no.
Okay.
Because you just realized what he has set up now, right?
No.
He has a major worldwide network now going to bat for him and fucking and pushing the show, right? Marketing the show.
Yep.
That reach a lot of people. I'll give you 3 guesses, and the first 2 don't count. Who is the first superstar that comes to mind that could use exposure like that? It ain't rocket science, dude. Come on, who does Vince want to put the belt on?
Roman?
Yes. He could use this to try to relaunch Roman as a babyface, because it's like, oh, well, Fox will fucking push him and he'll get all this exposure, and and we could push him as a babyface on SmackDown, blah, blah, blah. Just like, oh God, no, don't use this as a Roman platform. Please don't. That will immediately tank SmackDown. Don't do that.
Mm.
And I can see Vince totally doing that too.
Yep.
New day, new show, marketing juggernaut behind him. I mean, it's tailor-made for the Roman Reigns show.
Let's see here. A source close to WWE told Raja.com that with the new deal with Fox set to pay over $200 million annually, coupled with an imminent deal for Raw for even more money than that, expect the company to open their wallet, quote unquote, in order to lure the very best talent to the promotion and also do whatever it takes to retain their existing stars. With so much cash on hand, WWE could essentially make gigantic offers to anyone they want working for them, offers that no other promotion could realistically match.
Mm-hmm.
The source also mentions that currently contracted stars will likely see a raise when their existing deals expire. The same source also mentioned to Raja that the timing is great for a huge SmackDown show next fall, with not only a debut on Fox, but SmackDown celebrating its 20th anniversary at almost the exact same time. The backstage believes WWE will pull out all the stops to make the debut episode something along the lines of Raw's 25th anniversary in order to make a strong first impression and immediate impact on Fox.
So complete shit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Raw's 25th anniversary was kind of shit. As we reviewed here on the league.
Yep.
Oh God, 20th anniversary. I mean, that's tailor-made for fucking Roman Reigns. Getting big name talent. It's a platform to basically try to push Roman Reigns despite the fact no one wants him to be pushed. And it's the 20th anniversary of SmackDown. So what bigger name talent to pull onto SmackDown from Raw than the cousin of the guy who created SmackDown? It's like, oh God, you're just telegraphing the Reigns move to SmackDown at this point. I'll be very surprised. The only way I could see Reigns not moving to SmackDown is if he has the belt by then. Because then he'll probably stay on Raw because he'll be the champ. Because I don't see them moving the Universal Championship over to SmackDown. Although if they're really trying to push SmackDown, they might. But I don't know if Vince will ever consider SmackDown the A brand. What do you think, Jim?
I don't think he will either. And no, that belt is blatantly red. It'll never move to SmackDown for that reason. But
yeah,
I could very easily see them simply having Roman do some kind of a some kind of thing where he and whoever is a champ on SmackDown end up trading belts.
And oh God, this would make him the most hated man in WWE. Imagine this. Roman Reigns is the Universal Champ at that point, which is bad enough.
Okay.
Now, remember what we were talking about with respect to SmackDown and Raw and Fox and USA and WWE.
And the brass fund make Roman the undisputed champion?
Yeah, because you pointed out that the 20th anniversary of SmackDown is going to be the debut episode of SmackDown on Fox. What better way to make everybody except the WWE Universe happy, but to have Roman Reigns walk out on Raw or on SmackDown as the Universal Championship and have the main event of SmackDown be Roman Reigns versus whoever the WWE champion is, probably Shinsuke Nakamura, and have Roman Reigns completely fucking bury the WWE champion and unify the titles to end the brand split once and for all.
I can see it.
And thus making him the most universally hated man in all of WWE.
Universally. I see what you did there.
Like, if they do that, they must heel turn him if he's not a heel by the time he wins the title. Because if they do that with Roman, the fans will not let him remain a face.
Nope. Digging into more detail.
Yeah, and that has me scared because I'm like, oh God, I could really see this happening, and I don't want that to happen.
It could. So, The Hollywood Reporter posted an article earlier this week, went into depth about exactly how WWE got the deal from Fox. According to the story, Stephanie, Triple H, and other executives met with Fox leaders on May 17th in the morning, where the broadcast company pitched an alliance between the two companies. Fox patriarch Rupert Murdoch was said to be a key figure in helping the two sides come to an agreement by flat out suggesting that the WWE that the USA Network was, quote-unquote, embarrassed of their product, whereas Fox was eager to have them as part of their overall strategy of featuring live sports events. NBC Universal, parent company of USA, was hoping to keep both Raw and SmackDown in a new 10-year deal for $360 million per year, but they let their exclusive negotiating window for SmackDown expire on May 16th, effectively concluding that they would let the show hit the open market, and soon after that, Fox swooped in. It's also interesting to note that Universal had built into their contract with WWE the right to match any offer worth $200 million or less annually, which is why Fox came in with their $205 million annual offer, pretty much preventing NBC Universal from changing their mind. As noted before, along with all that cash, Fox has promised WWE extensive promotion and advertising on the other sports telecasts, including NFL and MLB. And the Murdoch family has also pushed a sort of quote-unquote marriage between their family and the McMahons. Raw is expected to stay on USA for a deal reportedly worth $265 million over 5 years. Doing the numbers, that combines both deals to about $470 million per year, or a grand total of $2.35 billion over the 5 years, which is a substantial increase over the $130 million annually that they're currently getting for both shows. So let's just do that math for a second.
Okay.
30. Let me see. Hang on. 130 plus 130. Let's see. That's that. So. So yeah, WWE is getting in the neighborhood of about 3.5 times what they're currently getting for Raw and SmackDown.
Damn. Well, Fox can afford it because depending on how their shareholder meetings and shit go, by the end of the summer, they stand to make almost $53 billion from Disney. So
yeah.
Potentially more if Comcast decides to play bidding war, because good luck trying to outbid Disney, Comcast.
Mm-hmm.
And you know the thing that's probably going to spell doom for Comcast's bid? The exact same day that Fox's shareholders are going to meet to vote on, whose money they're going to take. Disney is also going to hold a meeting to basically be prepared to reallocate funds and counter any offer that Comcast puts up. So they're basically going to be sitting there ready with a blank check saying, "Come on, Comcast, we fucking dare you."
Yeah. Let's see here. As reported before, SmackDown is moving to Fox in fall of 2019 with a gigantic deal. There's been speculation on whether SmackDown would remain live, since a move to Friday would bring significant logistical problems related to travel, production, etc. But according to a report by The Wrap, the show will continue to remain live. And so WWE does not have to rebrand and market the show, which is officially dubbed SmackDown Live at the moment. SmackDown on Fox will remain live, The Wrap has learned exclusively, so WWE can hang on to all of its SmackDown Live marketing and signage. Unless they'd like to change the blue show to green or make some font tweaks ahead of next year's big move from NBC Universal Cable to Fox Broadcast.
I doubt they would change the color of the show with the, what did you say, was it like the 20th anniversary coming up?
Yeah.
Because it's always been blue from its inception.
Yep.
To change it right before the 20th anniversary, that would piss off the fans royally.
Probably.
Not to mention, it would piss off the Great One.
Yeah.
Like, how dare you change the color of the Rock show?
Yep.
The Rock is going to have to drive down to the Fox studio and whoop that candy ass all over the arena.
Yep.
20th anniversary, I fully expect The Rock to be there, but he hasn't been there for any of the other ones, so maybe not.
He's a busy guy.
He is. He's busy being the keeper of the lightning.
He is. And no, actually, The Rock has appeared at every SmackDown anniversary, but it's usually via satellite.
I don't think he was at the last one, though. Was he?
No, I think he was.
Well, I guess that's the one show out of the year where I'm guaranteed points, huh? From The Rock.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just like the one event out of the year where you're guaranteed points from Jericho is the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, pretty much. So, one of the issues WWE is going to have to work out once the deal goes through is the new schedule that would have to go into effect for both SmackDown talent and crew. Apparently, in the past, some people had requested to be on the SmackDown crew instead of the Raw crew because they had teenage sons that played football, and the crew never worked on Friday when the football games were. All that changes with the Friday being an actual live SmackDown.
Yeah.
Another change will be that as it stands right now, Friday being the first day of the cycle would be a live show as opposed to the way it currently is, where the cycle starts with house shows and then culminates on Tuesdays with the SmackDown. What this will mean is a change in the travel schedule for everyone because WWE wants all personnel at the arena early, often several hours before the show at the latest, whereas for house shows, the talent can just arrive in the evening for the event.
Mm-hmm.
This would mean that the wrestlers would likely have to leave Thursday in order to get to the arena by Friday afternoon, and it would also mean not getting back home by Tuesday. One option will be to either do a Thursday to Sunday schedule with a house show to start off, then SmackDown, then house shows to end, as this would eliminate one day, Monday, at the end of the cycle, for them to be able to get back home. This would also avoid a live event going head-to-head against Raw. In any case, these decisions don't have to be made for a while because this isn't all happening until next year.
And I would say that would probably be good because I would hazard a guess, and this is just a guess, but given logistics, I would hazard a guess that they would completely move 205 Live to Monday nights instead of Tuesday nights and just have it shoot after Raw.
I find that unlikely, but okay.
What, you think they're just going to push it out to Friday?
I don't know. I think they may take 205 and just decide to take those guys off the road and just tape it at Full Sail.
You know what? That would be the best, especially considering this entire move completely fucks over 205 Live.
Yeah.
Because there's already fatigue from 205 Live filming after SmackDown right now, and it's a 2-hour show. With both shows going to 3-hour show, no one will give a shit about 205 Live.
That was my point about it was switching over to Raw. So the 3-hour show, nobody's going to give a shit. But yeah, so I could see them moving that to Full Sail or something, or just taping it as a stationary show in one place.
Yeah. But if they do that, then that means we're guaranteed never to see any of 205 Live on either of the two televised shows.
Or run it as a separate house show, instead of a house show, have a 205 Live thing that's just broadcast to the network.
I think it would be better if they half rebranded 205 Live, making it. And I don't know if this would piss off the 205 Live superstars, but instead of making it an auxiliary show to the main brands, make it an auxiliary show to NXT. Mm-hmm. So instead of the cruiserweights title being being at the main pay-per-views, which aren't going to have time for them anyway, just have that be another match added to the NXT TakeOver card.
I can see it.
I don't know if that would piss them off or if that would make them even happier because it's like, oh, thank glory Christ, we're going to be part of NXT.
Yeah. We'll see.
Because think about it, if they do that, that means you're going to have a lot more bleed over between like the UK people and 205 Live, because most of the UK people are on NXT, and then at the same time you don't have to find something for like the cruiserweights in NXT to do before being called up to the main roster. People like Ricochet and stuff, you can just immediately shunt them to 205 Live.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a win-win.
Yeah. We'll see. We got 2 left. It's number 6. Oh, perfect. I was hoping it would be that one.
Okay.
Speaking of the UK people,
So the last one is the female?
Yep.
Fair. Perfect.
So, WWE has released the brackets for this year's UK Championship Tournament.
Okay.
The promotion released a video at WWE.com confirming the first round matches on each side of the bracket. On the left side of the bracket, the matches will be Zach Gibson versus Amir Jordan, Drew Gulak versus Chad Gallagher, Flash Morgan Webster versus James Drake, and Tyson T-Bone versus Jordan Devlin. The other side of the bracket will see Tucker versus Joe Coffey, Dave Mastiff versus Kenny Williams, Ligero versus Travis Banks, and Ashton Smith versus Joseph Connors.
Okay, then. I know none of them.
You don't know Drew Gulak versus Jack Gallagher?
Oh, I missed that one. Yes, I do know that one. Let's go, Gulak.
Clap, 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 clap.
I like Drew Gulak. I think he's cool.
Fair.
Seems like a really nice guy.
Anyway, all but one of those first round matches, being that one, are scheduled to be at the Download Festival between June 8th and 10th. Gulak vs. Gallagher was filmed at Full Sail earlier this month during an NXT taping.
I fully expect Gallagher to win that match because he's British.
Yeah, I can see it. So definitely stay tuned for all of that UK-ness. And presumably of the UK tournament would, of course, face current UK champion Pete Dunne.
That is the plan.
So.
And I fully expect the winner of this tournament to actually take the title because Pete Dunne's been undefeated since the first one.
He has. Wait, Pete Dunne didn't win the first one, did he?
How do you think he got the belt? He's been the UK champ the entire time. Pretty sure.
No.
Really?
He's the second UK champ.
Okay, fair enough. But he's had it for a long ass time.
Let's see. Yeah, Pete Dunne has had the title for 377 days.
Yeah, well over a year.
He has it over a year, but he was the second champion. But the original UK champion was Tyler Bate.
Oh, that's right.
He held it for 125 days after winning the UK Championship tournament by defeating Pete Dunne in the final.
Fair. But yeah, since Pete Dunne's held it for so long, I could see them taking the belt off him.
Yeah, I can see it. And our final story tonight.
Mm-hmm.
It's number 7.
Well, first of 2, but yeah.
Well, yeah. So, Squared Circle Sirens reported earlier this week that WWE has signed ROH talent Diana Purrazzo to a developmental contract.
Yep.
Purrazzo, 23, is scheduled to report to the Performance Center in Orlando for training in a couple of weeks. The female wrestler is a veteran of ROH and is credited with helping launch the rebirth of Women of Honor, competing in the recent tournament to crown the first ever Women of Honor champion, losing to Mayu Iwatani in the quarterfinals. So looking forward to seeing her on the roster.
Yep, there's going to be someone joining her who's going to whoop her ass 10 ways from Sunday.
Who's that?
Japanese female superstar, widely regarded as the best female wrestler, period, end of story. Potentially the best wrestler in the story, but I'm not sure about that claim. But best female wrestler, I could see that. She's certainly one of the most popular Japanese female wrestlers of all time. She works for the Japanese Joshi Pro Wrestling promotion of World Wonder Ring Stardom, where she just dropped the women's championship. She was its women's champion. She just dropped it. She is going to be wrestling one last time in said promotion on June 17th. and then coming over to WWE. Now, what makes this... did I give her name? Jim?
You did not.
Okay, it's Io Shirai.
Ah, yes, Io Shirai.
And what makes this of note is that she was supposed to come over this time last year, but failed the medical exam because she had a heart condition.
Ah.
So WWE said, yeah, no, we don't want you having a heart attack in our ring. Go back to Japan.
Yeah, we'd like to let you, but there's a contract that infringes on Jerry Lawler's character.
Pretty much. So she went back to Japan, got taken care of, and has been wrestling since. She is 27 years of age, so very young to having a heart condition. But she's apparently fine now, and she was supposed to be in the Mae Young Classic last year and couldn't because of that. So after the 17th of June, when she wrestles her final match, she will pack up her bags, move over to the United States of America, and join the Mae Young Classic too.
Nice.
Yep. Her career includes working in Mexico, where she competed for Lucha Libre AAA and Lucha Underground.
Nice.
As well as being part of the Black Lotus Triad faction with WWE superstar Kairi Sane. So, yeah, if she comes over, the women's divisions are going to be dominated by the Japanese because you have Asuka, you have Kairi Sane, whose main roster debut is imminent. She is probably going to come up sooner rather than later. And then when Io Shirai, the arguably best female wrestler of all fucking time, shows up, yeah, the WWE women's division won't stand a damn chance.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she's coming.
Cool.
And if she shows up in the Mae Young Classic 2, expect her to win, unless WWE is going to bury her. Because if she shows up and she doesn't win, the fans are going to be pissed if she's that popular. Because you don't bring in the most popular female wrestler in Japan right now, and arguably the most popular female wrestler of all time, Japanese female wrestler of all time, and have her lose.
Yeah.
That's kind of a no-no in the industry.
It is. It's true.
So there you are. There's your winner of the second tournament right there, ladies and gentlemen. Which means from there she'll probably go straight to NXT, win the title once, drop it, and then head immediately to the main roster, because the as we know, the Mae Young Classic basically goes on to compete for the NXT Championship.
Yep.
So she'll probably do that. She'll probably be in NXT for like maybe a year, and then expect her. In fact, it would not surprise me if she's in NXT for the bulk of the next year, and she's called up for the SmackDown debut on Fox.
I can see it.
So, yes, keep an eye out for that.
Yep. Damn it, fucking. Work, you friggin' piece of crap.
So, that's the news.
Yeah, hold on a second. We're not quite done yet.
I thought that was the last news item.
It was, but I have something else. Breaking. Just got posted 20 minutes ago.
Okay.
Why will you not let me scroll to the right page? Damn it. All right, fine. So, this just came out here. I get Wrestling Observer grain of salt. NBC Universal was said to be stunned at losing SmackDown as they never imagined that the bidding for WWE's B show would ever reach the levels that they did, let alone $200 million annually, which was only reached because there were multiple suitors vying for SmackDown. Due to their rating situation, the decision was made that USA Network could not lose Raw, and so they used their contractual right to match any offer as a way to keep the show, whereas Fox had hoped to nab Raw and put it on its main network on Monday nights. When NBC Universal declined to match SmackDown at the $200 million range, the show entered the open market and Fox went all in after not being able to get Raw.
You know what I think would be hilarious?
What do you think would be hilarious?
If they kept the brand split, but eventually do this too. Have a draft, but instead of have it being a random draft, you have an executive from NBC Universal and an executive from Fox come in, and they get to draft their shows.
That'd be interesting.
That'd be hilarious. And I would probably put in there caveat: champions are off limits, just so there's some, consistency within the shows.
Right.
Because it's like, well, you drafted your shows. You can't bitch that you don't have the talent you want.
Yep.
And Vince would be like, and I don't care because they all work for me anyway. So, Big Face, what else is left?
I think that's everything. I'm just checking to see. Oh, yeah. Let's see here.
Yes.
The main reason Io Shirai decided to leave Stardom for WWE is simply because WWE is the place to be, and she likely wants to duplicate Asuka's success. From a financial standpoint, Shirai stands to lose a lot of money, as her salary in WWE will not only be less than in Stardom, but she will lose a lot of money in merchandise. In Stardom, Shirai basically got to keep all the money she made on her merchandise, which was reportedly significant. In WWE, as with all talent, she'll only keep a percentage of it.
Right.
In an interesting bit of backstage dynamics, Shirai and Asuka are reportedly not friends, according to the Wrestling Observer Radio. Meltzer, grain of salt, stated that although the two wrestled in a tag team years back, they are not friends. But that doesn't mean they're going to be fighting with each other backstage or anything. So, interesting.
But she will still have a friend in Kairi Sane.
Are they friends?
I just read they were part of a 3-woman faction back in the day. They were part of the Black Lotus Triad.
Asuka and Shirai were a tag team back in the day. Doesn't mean you're friends.
Yeah. I know, but the article didn't mention that of any beef, so.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I have not, then, hey, Vince can exploit it, because that's what he does. He exploits things. Exploits real life for money.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. He does tend to do that heartily to an edge.
Yeah, pretty much.
Anyway, this has been the news.
It has.
We thank you fine folks at home for joining us.
Absolutely.
And we will see you tomorrow for the usual scoring shenanigans, with added input from my two co-stars who will be contributing to the scoring from now on. So stay tuned for the premiere of that. We'll see how it goes.
Oh, shit. That's this week, huh? I better get on that.
That's tomorrow.
Luckily, I have the smaller show, so that shouldn't take me much time to do.
Hopefully. We'll see you next time, folks.